Hello there, I'm Jimmy Vegas, and this is how to create a 3D endless runner game in Unity, and welcome to episode 8. In this tutorial, we're going to create the ability to have some coins spin around, as well as collect them with our player. Don't forget, click subscribe button and click on the bell icon as well to stay up to date with every tutorial still to come in this series, and everything else on game development on my channel. With that in mind, let's get to work. So, picking up a coin obviously is going to give us a score. That's the whole idea of an endless runner, to generate coins, score, get bigger, better, whatever. And generally these coins are spinning around. So we're going to bring in a texture to apply to an object for a coin. We're going to make it spin, and then we're going to basically collect it with a nice little sound effect. So let's get started by going to Game Object. Let's go to 3D Object, and let's go to Cylinder. Now, this doesn't look like a coin right now. However, if we change the rotation and the scale, we can actually make it look much more like a coin. So what we'll do is we will rotate by 90 degrees on the Z or Z, and 90 degrees on the X. In fact, we'll just do it on the X, because why do we need to do it on the Z if it just does that? So yeah, 90 on the X. And if we zoom in, we can see, yep, still a bit of a cylinder. So we just need to change the scale. So I'm going to change the scale on the X to 0.5. On the Y, let's change it to 0.05. And on the Z, 0.5 again. So now it looks much more like a coin. So I'm going to bring it closer to the ground. And next thing we're going to do is let's create a folder which is going to be specifically for any textures that we bring in. So let's go to our assets up here and right click, create folder, and let's just call it textures. And I'm going to bring in a texture that you can get on my website for free. If you head over there, download an assets, endless runner, and it'd be under tutorial number 8. And it is this gold coin right here. So what we're going to do is, for now, we're just going to apply this gold coin texture to this make-believe coin. So drag and drop like so. What I'm also going to do is I might actually shrink it a little bit, because I think even 0.5 is quite large. So let's have it as 0.01. There we go. That looks about okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to apply something called a normal map. A normal map gives this image a bit more of a three-dimensional look rather than just be flat like it is now. So if we take the gold coin, hold Control and press D, it'll change to gold coin 1. Let's rename that. Instead of the space and 1, let's put _N. The N is just an abbreviation for normal map. So let's select it. And over here, you'll see the texture type is set to default. Any texture you bring in, like we have here, will just be set to default. So let's click it and change it to normal map. And let's just click apply. There are things that we can play around with within all of this, but at the moment, we just want to see how this will look on our coin. So let's now select the coin, and down here you've got the material. Let's click the little arrow, expand the material. If you scroll down just a little bit, you'll see this option here called normal map. Just drag and drop that onto there, and you'll see this change. Now, if we click the normal map itself, you'll see we can actually select a different option called grayscale. So if we click on grayscale and then click apply, it makes it look different yet again. And you can play around with how this looks, the material, I should say. So for example, if we go to the gold coin material, we could change the source to albedo alpha, and we could increase the metallic look of it and decrease the smoothness. And again, it just comes down to how you want the coin to look. So that looks decent-ish. I might increase the smoothness and reduce the metallic look. I kind of want it to stand out a little more than what it currently does against the floor. So if I press play now and see how that looks if we run. Cool. I think that should do. Obviously, you take much more time with this. You don't necessarily need to do what I've done. You could change the color if you wanted, change it to bright yellow. In fact, I might just do that to give it a bit more emphasis. So we have a coin here now. What are we going to do? Well, let's create a script to rotate it. So let's go on to scripts. Let's right click, create, folder. We'll have this as collectibles. So anything we collect script wise will be based in this folder. So let's right click, create C# script, and we'll call this one rotate object. Now let's open that up in Visual Studio. So this is going to be a really nice simple script. Obviously we've dealt with scripting before, but this one is going to be really easy compared to what we have previously done. All we're going to do is just rotate the object that this script will be attached to. Now we can create a variable for this, I guess, if we want to change it manually in the game. So let's get rid of void start and annotations because we do not need those. And let's start by declaring a variable. So public, I'm going to have it as an integer, but you can have it as a decimal, which would be a float. It's entirely up to you. And we'll call this one rotate speed. And by default, I will make equal to 1 just for now, and we'll see how that looks. So next what we need to do in void update is we need to basically say rotate whatever you're attached to. So we can say transform with a lowercase t dot rotate, and in brackets the x, y, and z or z. In this case, we don't want to rotate it on the x, so that will be 0. However, we do want to rotate it on the y because that's generally how a coin would rotate within this kind of game. So here we would put rotate speed, comma, 0 because we don't want to rotate on the z or z. And then finally, another comma, and we need to close it off with space dot world. The reason we do this is because we need to make this object relative to the world around it. We don't want it to rotate of its own accord in this sense. Close bracket, semicolon, and save that script. So let's head back into Unity. And then all we need to do is just attach this script to that cylinder object, like so. And now let's rename this to coin. You can see here we have the rotate speed set as 1. What we're going to do is I'm going to bring it over here and bring it to the side just a little bit so we can gauge just how fast it's spinning. Yep, I think that's okay. I'm happy with that. Although I do think it is a little bit too thin now. I'm not too happy with how thin it is. Anyway, it's up to you how you want to have it. So, what is next for this? Well, next thing for us to do is to be able to collect the coin. So we're going to bring in a sound effect. So let's go back to our assets folder here. Let's right click, create, folder, and we'll have audio. And inside that audio folder, we'll keep everything neat and tidy, and we will have another folder called SFX, short for sound effects. And in here, we'll bring in that other file that we had in this folder. And once again, you can get this on the website if you head over there, downloads and assets, and you'll be able to import it, no problem. So, how do we make it so as this sound plays when we collect this coin and the coin disappears? Well, once again, it's all done through scripting. So for now, what we're going to do is inside level control, we're going to right click, create empty, and we're going to drag and drop this coin SFX onto there. And it will add the audio source. So if I press play now, it will actually play as soon as the game starts. Cool. That's because this is ticked right here, play on awake. If we were to untick this, it obviously wouldn't start. If we were to tick loop, then it would constantly play until the audio was stopped. So all we really need to do at this point is make sure none of these boxes are ticked. And if you want it loud, have the volume as 1. If you want it low, just decrease it. If you want the pitch higher, if you want it to be more high pitched and quicker, increase that. And if you want to pitch lower, slower, just decrease it. Nothing else is really going to matter too much. It's not too strenuous what we're doing at this point. We just need to make sure that we do know this is the coin collect sound. So let's rename to coin collect. Next thing we need to do is on our player, we need to add a special component which will allow us to basically interact with the world around us. So if we go to add component, and if we type in char short for character, you'll see something called character controller. You just need to select that. We don't need to change any of the parameters down here. Everything will function just fine for us. Nothing will change in terms of how the game looks, how it plays right now. It all comes down to what we do with any object which is going to require the use of the character controller. So let's now write a script which allows us to collect this coin. So let's go to our scripts, go to collectibles, let's right click, create C# script, and we'll have this as collect coin. And let's open that up in Visual Studio. So how do we do this? It's actually very simple. We're not going to use any of these methods. We're going to write a different method. So let's get rid of start and update. And let's have void on trigger enter. And if we press space now, it will automatically fill this here. We can get rid of private because it doesn't need to be private. But what we do need to say here is we need to play the audio sound and then disable this game object. So in order to do that, let's declare a variable, public, and the type is going to be audio source, and that's a capital A, capital S. And we'll have coin fx, semicolon. So in this method, the onTrigger method, we'll say coin fx dot play, and then open close bracket, semicolon, and then we can say this dot game object with a lowercase g dot set active false, semicolon, and save the script. So essentially all we've done here is we're saying whenever we collide with this particular object, in this case the coin, we're going to play that collect sound, and then we're also going to disable this object just so as we can't repeatedly keep gaining coins. So let's head back into Unity, and then let's attach coin collect to our coin, and then we just need to fill in this one variable down here called coin fx, which is going to be that coin collect sound right there. So logically, what should happen now is we should be able to collect it, but there is one other thing that we do have to deal with. So if I press play, and if I try collecting it now, we cannot collect it. So we have to remember what we've done in our script. Remember this here, trigger. So this can only be accessed if a trigger enters this particular object. So if we go to player, and if we tick is trigger right here and press play, hopefully we should be able to go through the coin and collect, but we didn't. Why didn't we? Oh, of course, the coin itself has got to be the trigger. That's fine. So if we go to the coin itself and click is trigger on that, then we can actually collect it, because the character controller is what will trigger all of this. There we go. So after that, what we can do is we can duplicate this coin. So let's maybe bring it along here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. Let's do some more. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then let's take those 4 coins, duplicate once again, and let's bring them over here. And let's press play. So we should be able to collect all of these coins. Cool. Excellent. And obviously we can carry on going at this point, but it doesn't really matter too much. So the last thing that I would like to do with this is place these coins in a certain section. So we have this start section, which is the area we're in. So I'm going to place those coins inside the start section. We have a couple of other sections as well. So I'm going to put some coins in those. So let's start with taking those coins. I'm taking all the coins there. No, there's still one that I haven't attached. So let's put that in the start section as well. So let's take those coins, hold Control and press D to duplicate. and let's place them in a different section and just move them into that actual section. So if I bring them over here, and let's just make sure that this section is the right one and the coins are in a decent position. Probably need to move them just a little more. At this point, it's probably wise if you just take each, little section and just add the coins in as you want to. So if I do that, bring in there, a couple of coins there. Just to kind of differentiate between each of the section. So yeah, that's pretty much all you need to do to collect the coins. So let's take a couple more, duplicate, let's put them in another section, and just make sure that they are aligned to the correct section. So probably about there, is that right? Yes. So if I press play now, and let's run for just half a minute or so, and just make sure that we can collect the coins in different sections. So where do we go from here? Well, what I think we need to do next is let's have some UI, I think. Let's have something on screen to say how many coins we've collected, and we'll go from there, I think. Because obviously we need to see on screen just how much we are collecting and how many coins we've got, how many more do we need to get for, let's say, a trophy or achievement or whatever. I'm not seeing any more coins, but I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's go to our scene view and let's see if we can zoom in and see any coins. Yes, okay, so there are coins appearing in the sections further along. Here we go. There we are. So maybe if you want to fill up some sections with coins, you can, but it's as simple as that to collect the coins. So yeah, next tutorial, what we'll do is we will basically display how many coins we have gotten. So until that next tutorial, thanks very much for watching, guys.